Ah, dear beloved Nottingham Forest, please, dear beloved Nottingham Forest, I'm putting my two hands together. Do not do anything. Do not sack Mr. Ange Postecoglou before you face us. One more match, please. One more match after the international break. After that, do whatever you like to do with him. We don't care as Chelsea Football Club. We don't care as Chelsea community, but just give him one more match. One more match. I don't want any of these new manager coming through within the next few days, and then a new manager bounds for Nottingham Forest, and looks like they're linked with Marco Silva, albeit the source coming from the Mail, who I've got always a little bit of doubt about, a bit dubious, Mr. The Mail as a source. But there is serious pressure. There is serious level of pressure on Ange Postecoglou, who I think is now 007. I think he's got 2 draws and 5 losses. And the next match for Nottingham Forest is Chelsea Football Club straight after the international break. I want us to go on a bit of a run. I want us to now, off the back of the victory against Liverpool and prior to that, Benfica, really build on something. This is our opportunity. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't seen the fixtures post the international break for Chelsea, it's looking very tasty. And it all starts from Nottingham Forest, but I'm begging, putting my 2 hands together, Nottingham Forest, don't do any shenanigans. What am I talking about? Well, check this out, ladies and gentlemen. As I said, the source is Mail Sport. They're a bit of a hit and miss. They're not always right. But the point of the story here is there is definitely some form of pressure here. There's no 2 ways about it. There is definitely some form of pressure. I hope Ange Postecoglou gets one more match, one more chance to dance. And after that, you can be khalas. I have no issues about that. Fulham manager Marco Silva is long-term target for Nottingham Forest should they sack Ange Postecoglou. However, an approach for Portuguese is unlikely to happen before the end of the season. Yeah, look, I can't imagine how Fulham lets go of Marco Silva right now, but Ange Postecoglou, I'm pretty certain he's on the verge of getting the sack if he loses against Chelsea Football Club, which I hope he does. Honestly, nothing is easy in the Premier League. The way Nottingham Forest are moving right now, that is a must 3 points, man. We cannot let go of any points there. It has to be full 3 points to capitalize on the good work that we did against Liverpool. If we drop points against Nottingham Forest, all the good work gone down the drain. All the good work gone down the drain. So, look, ladies and gentlemen, Nottingham Forest, they're a decent team, man. And this is a classic case of what the hell has that owner, the Greek owner, Marinakis, what have you done, mate? Honestly, what have you done? Things were looking very good under Nuno. Yeah, they wanted to change the style, but Nuno had them playing a certain manner, which worked for Nottingham Forest. But the owner wants more flair, more excitement. Well, now you have Ange Postecoglou. I don't know what type of excitement you were looking for. It's losses after losses after losses. And in the midst of all of that, they've just picked up 2 draws. They haven't won since Ange Postecoglou has taken over. I beg, one more match, please. One more match. Nottingham Forest owner, Marinakis, whatever his name is, keep him for one more match. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know. Like, I don't want no new manager bounce, none of that shenanigans against Nottingham Forest. And it is, I believe it's the first match after the international break. It's the midday kickoff match, which generally brings out some sort of spanner. And I don't want any more spanner. I need 3 points. After that, sack Ange Postecoglou all you want. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, coming from Dom Smith, very good journalist. If you haven't started following him, follow him on X. He put up a really good article in regards to Mheuka. It goes something like this, as you can see on the bottom. Is one of English Academy's football's most informed players, and Chelsea are hugely excited about the softly spoken 17-year-old goal scorer. Brilliant news. And then further goes on to say Mheuka is starting to be included in Chelsea's first team training sessions more and more regularly. Peace here about the entire progress. This is good news. Look, it's not like I've watched a lot of Mheuka. I really do want to start watching a lot of the academy football so that you get more knowledge in relation to what's happening in the academy. But Mheuka, one thing I do know, I've seen a lot of his clips, I've seen a lot of his goals. He is an up-and-coming player. Now, I'm not saying go throw him into the deep end and make him Chelsea's starting striker. No, but I think this pathway from the academy to the first team and just being part of the training sessions, this is good. I think Mheuka, he came on recently in, was it the Carabao Cup against Lincoln? He got some minutes off the bench. He really pressed well. He's got good energy about him. Obviously, there's so much that he needs to develop, but I don't want to disregard players that are performing above their levels in the academy to be given an opportunity in the first team, whether it's in training sessions, whether slowly but surely getting minutes in the Carabao Cup, FA Cup, and then eventually making it into the Premier League and Champions League and getting bits and pieces there. I think, ultimately, this is how superstar is born, right? We can't just be relying on the market all the time. So this is another one. The conveyor belt of our academy products continues. And there's still more, a lot of, good conversations that's happening in regards to Mheuka. Check this out. Sources who know Mheuka well describe him as a lovely kid with an infectious smile, polite to staff around the training ground at Cobham, but with a noticeable quiet confidence about him, a close friend to many of his academy teammates who is welcomed warmly into the senior team whenever he is invited. Fantastic. I think in the recent academy match, can't remember who he played. Once again, he scored a couple of goals, or he scored a goal. He's been scoring a lot of goals, not just for Chelsea in the academy stage, but he's been scoring a lot of goals for England youth team as well, which is fantastic. Great to see Mheuka growing as a up-and-coming footballer. Fantastic. Chelsea staff are very optimistic about what the future holds for Mheuka. Sources say he's one of, if not the most regular academy players to join in with Enzo Maresca with first-team training. Excellent. Excellent. This pathway is beautiful. Participating in their sessions even more consistently than Maresca's favorite youngster, Reggie Walsh. Wow. We all know Reggie Walsh is the favorite at the moment, and rightly so. He's once again, I've seen quite a lot of his clips. He looks like someone who will down the track break into the Chelsea first team and be participate in that Chelsea midfield, which is going to be very difficult, but there's a lot of talent there. But I back him to do that. And this is fantastic to see that Mheuka is getting even more opportunities than Reggie Walsh to come and participate in the first team training. Probably because we are lacking at the moment in that striker department. No Liam Delap, we let go of Nicholas Jackson right now. We've got Mark Gue, and maybe someone like Mheuka is acting as an extra body there, which only is going to increase his experience, which is fantastic. Now, next up, ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts about Mheuka. Do you believe he could potentially crack into the Chelsea first team? Now, Tyrique George is likely to leave Chelsea in January, as he is viewed as by the club as predominantly a winger, and Chelsea already have Pedro Neto, Estevao Willian, Jamie Gittins, Alejandro Garnacho, with Giovanni Coenda joining next summer. This is coming from via Sky Cave. Look, he was gone already last summer window because of some craziness that has happened right at the end. Fulham ended up getting different targets. Roma didn't want ultimately to pay the level of money that we wanted for Tyrique George, and then the move never materialized. And now he's been shoehorned as a striker when we have Mark Gue available as well. And Gue, from the little bits and pieces that we saw against Liverpool, seems, of course, more of a striker. He is a striker. Tyrique George isn't. Not taking anything away from Tyrique George. This is nothing against him. I still think there's a very, very good player there, but he's better suited as a winger. But seems like Chelsea Football Club has made a decision that we're going to cash in on Tyrique George, get that pure profit, because we've already got Gittins, we've already got Garnacho. There's no room for Tyrique George. I'd like to see him go on a loan and not be sold permanently, because I feel like there could be a special player there as well. But yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that come January window that he's going to be let go of. What I am surprised about is how Enzo Maresca has been using him as a striker in recent times. I don't mind him being used as a striker in the cup competitions, which he has against Lincoln, and a banging goal that he scored against Lincoln. But I don't understand him playing as a striker in bigger matches. whether it's in the Premier League, whether it's in the Champions League, which I know in the Champions League he hasn't played as a striker, but he's come off the bench in the Premier League, definitely to be played as a striker, and I simply don't understand it. So makes sense that he's going to be let go of in the January window. Next up, Justin, Chelsea have no plans to sign a centre-back in January, and they will not be signing a goalkeeper in January or next summer. Sanchez, Jorgensen, and Penders are regarded as being good enough. A lot of people are very upset about this. Look, the goalkeeper situation, I understand it. We do need a better goalkeeper. Although, having said that, Sanchez, bar the Man United moment, he's had less efferys in recent times. In fact, the game against Liverpool, he did really, really well. So I can understand the reluctancy of Chelsea Football Club trying to go for a goalkeeper. I can't really think off the top of my head, who would we even go for? I don't really believe in Jorgensen. I don't think he is up to the standards. I don't really think Sanchez is up to the standards. It's been better. But Penders, Chelsea Football Club got Penders as well. Now, I'm not someone who's been religiously watching Strasbourg. I do see clips here and then. Penders looks like a really good goalkeeper. But I guess this is the thing. Chelsea have set up shop for the long run as to who their goalkeepers are going to be. And they're quite adamant not to go into the market and buy another goalkeeper. Whether we like it or not, this is the plan moving forward for the goalkeeper position. With the defenders as well, I understand it. Do we need better defenders? Of course. But Levi Colwill is injured. He'll be returning back. He's not dead. He's going to return back, God willing. You've got Mamadou Sarr in Strasbourg, who's doing well. And Salmino, yes, he's got a knock at the moment. He's not playing at the moment for Dortmund, but he's someone, touted to be a very good defender down the track. Achapong's doing well. There's a plethora of defenders, Badiashile, Tosin, Chalobah. The only way we bring in defenders is we've got to get rid of A-list players. Getting rid of Desarcy is not going to open up the doors to bringing in another defender. I mean, sure, we can, but we won't be able to include them in the European stages. We have to get rid of Tosin, or the Chalobah, or someone in this list, in the A list, to then go and find another defender. And look, once again, as I said, I've got no qualms about getting another new defender, but once again, Chelsea got a lot of defenders, man. A lot of defenders. Yes, maybe none of them are at a world-class level. And this is why that, there's an outrage from the fan base that we can't be competing this way. Me personally, I feel like, players like Achapong, give them an opportunity. I've even forgotten about Wesley Fofana. But Achapong especially, give them an opportunity. They could turn out to be something big. The only way we go to the market, sell. Sell Chalobah, sell Tosin, sell Fofana, and then get yourself a top defender. But we've got, as I said, Mamadou Sarr from Strasbourg, who's a Chelsea player. We have to look into that. And so far, from the bits and pieces that I've seen of Sarr, he looks like a decent player. He does look like a decent player. Let me know your thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. Do you want to 100% in the January market go and approach for a defender and a goalkeeper? Let me know in the comment section what you think about that. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, Chelsea are working to find clubs for Raheem Sterling and Axel Disasi in January. The players are keeping fit, and it is also up to them to agree to any deal which may materialize. I think this will be the primary objective in the January transfer window, to get rid of Disasi and Sterling massively. These guys, they're in the bomb squad. We've seen them. They do training in odd times because this is how it's all set up for them at the moment. They're not participating with the first team squad because the first team squad, they just don't have any more scope for it. And there's a lot of people that are upset about it. Why are we treating them so poorly? Well, the squad's big. Chelsea don't see any future for these players. And Chelsea have told these players to move on. These players are not finding an opportunity to move on. Raheem Sterling is not going to move on because he's getting paid highly at Chelsea Football Club. He's not going to move on. And there's not too many clubs, if any, that are willing to pay Raheem Sterling the level of money. So we're going to have to somewhat find a middle ground with Raheem Sterling and see if we can part ways with him. But Desarcy, what's your excuse? How come you haven't gone yet? So we need to make sure that these players are gone by the end of the January transfer window. Big news, ladies and gentlemen, Wesley Fofana, he's back at training. So obviously he was not participating over the last few games against Benfica and against Liverpool because of the concussion knock that he took against Lincoln. I think he wasn't, no, sorry, against Brighton, where, was it Brighton or was it Lincoln? One of those games where I think it was Jorgensen. Yeah, it was Lincoln, where my man Jorgensen absolutely knocked out Wesley Fofana, and since then he's had to be rested due to the concussion policy. Now he's back, and after the international break, we should have some centre-backs available. Chalobah will be back from suspension. Wesley Fofana, Achapong's there. Badiashile, hopefully there is no injury and it's just precautionary, whatever took place against Liverpool, and that he can be also back and be in contention for the match against Nottingham Forest. So hopefully after the international break, we're going to see quite a lot of players that's going to return back to Chelsea Football Club, which is only going to help us hopefully go on a bit of a run post the international break. Now, last but not least, check this out, ladies and gentlemen. Cole Palmer has also successfully trademarked his autograph. Palmer's successful application includes an exhaustive list of products he intends to sell using the trademark term soaps, bath salts, food, snacks, razor blades, mobile phone covers, drones, underwater vehicles, stationary toys, Christmas crackers, and teddy bears. And this is coming off the back of this news. Cole Palmer has trademarked the word Cold Palmer. Cole Palmer has successfully trademarked the term Cold Palmer. Palmer's application submitted to the UK government's Intellectual Property Office in November was approved on Friday. I mean, look, the term Cold Palmer, yeah, it's a brand. It's a brand. So Cole Palmer's only looking after himself that, this can be used as a brand and he can potentially make more money down the track. And footballers, they need to think in a business mind as well. Footballers' careers are very short. I mean, if you're very good, you might have a Cristiano Ronaldo or a Messi type of a prolonged career, but very rarely does it go that long. Generally, it's about 10 years, 10 to 15 years. You've got to make a lifetime worth of money. So after that, you've got to set yourself up. So I can understand why Cole Palmer is trademarking his, nickname, Cold Palmer. It can be utilized as a brand on many things. So big up to Cole Palmer for being able to do that. Cold Palmer. Why not? Why not, man? Look after yourself. Look after the business. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts about everything we spoke about, especially in regards to Ange Postecoglou. Please, Nottingham Forest, don't sack him. Don't sack him. Let me know your thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. If you've enjoyed this video, smash up the like button. If you're here for the first time, subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Till next time, take care. See ya.